Alright, we should be rolling now, and this is the top 4 match for the average at best league. Kalamazoo Kangaskhan's reporting in here. This is going to be a very tough matchup. Our opponent has a Mewtwo as one of their highest draft picks, mine being Great Tusk. So I kind of valued overall team utility instead of just hardcore sweepers. I believe this is the team I had set. And yeah, we'll just stick with this and see what they brought. I believe they have Sylveon as well. Oh, they chose not to bring it. Yeah, that does look like what their draft report said. Not bringing Sylveon is interesting here, actually. So we probably just lead Torkoal. There's not really a hard punish outside of exactly Mewtwo, and if they're running Psychic over Psystrike, that is, I think, a risk I have to take. As you can tell, this is mostly just a Sun offense, or like Sun Hyper offense team. Sorry if my chair is squeaking, that is just something I'm dealing with. Leading back's Caliber, they are trying to sweep. Okay, not what I expected at all. Most likely not Ice Body, they're probably Thermal Exchange, so Lava Plume is not the play. It's probably just stick to Stealth Rock. Oh, do I want to risk the D-Dance on turn 1 and just not be able to deal with it? Body Press is still threatening probably a 2-hit KO, though. I think I can still risk it. Unless they're running Earth... well, okay, that shouldn't KO. This is like Bold Max Defense Torkoal. Definitely a trade I'm willing to take on turn 1, just a little bit of chip to get the rocks going. Now the question is, do they still stay in? They don't really have a reason to switch. And my switches aren't incredibly safe either. Yeah, my team doesn't have a ton of ground resist. I think I just risked the Body Press. Okay, that's good health range to still be at, so we can switch in later. 2-hit KO, alright. So they're still going to stay in and try to just ride it out. I think this means I do bring in what should be a bulky enough set on physically offensive utility Great Tusk to deal with this. EQ does not a ton, but oh, Excalibur can outspeed, can't it? Double check the calcs. I think that thing's like base 87 speed. Yeah, that's crazy that I knew that offhand. I believe that this being Jolly Tusk should still outspeed. It's a speed tie. Oh, okay. Am I Adamant or am I Jolly? I am Jolly. I should outspeed. If not, it's a speed tie. Oh, well, okay, yeah, we can take an Ice Shard. Okay, I thought it was going to be a good old-fashioned Icicle Spear loaded dice set. That is definitely a KO I am glad to take early. I believe that was one of the few remaining threats on their team that stops Roaring Moon from sweeping in the back. Mewtwo is probably the only other thing that I had to really be too worried about. Interesting they went with Unnerve. I believe I calced it, and Scarf Golden Go should outspeed and have like a 60% chance to OHKO with Shadow Ball. If it comes down to that. I feel like I don't want to risk an Ice Beam and bring in Roaring Moon, even though the Psychic attack seems pretty obvious. Either way, I think Golden Go is still my safest bet, and just risking that Shadow Ball should still hit the range. If not, we can always reposition a bit later. It is Ice Beam. Okay, so I was correct to not bring in the Roaring Moon, and thankfully no Freeze, please? Okay, Crit is fine. We just Shadow Ball, and this should hit the range. Oh, they might be specs. Okay. Come to think of it, that did do a lot for an Ice Beam. Maybe the Shadow Ball hits the 2-hit KO range. I don't remember if I calced Quackle Ball. Does look like it hits the range. Okay, perfect. Quillfish Hisui. I believe this was one of their Terra Captains. What were their Terra types? This is not one of their Terra Captains. Excuse me, I had my data wrong. So, most likely trying to set up hazards. Do I try to just like hard predict and swap in to try to rapid spin? That seems low risk, relatively high reward, because it's most likely just trying to go for a dark move right now. Or I could just bring in a Roaring Moon and try to set up. I think that is the play. If the only thing that I have to risk is like, I don't remember if it's Throat Chop that it gets, or just some other dark move like Crunch. It is Spikes, okay, so assuming they switch here, this should be a relatively safe Photosynthesis wore off, which is unfortunate, but that does mean that the Booster Energy Speed does get to activate here, so that the Acrobatics boost will be in applying. There is no way they stay in, so we definitely Dragon Dance for free here. What? There's no way they have a tech for this. I'm assuming this is bulky Eviolite. Barb Barrage? Does it guarantee poison? Okay, well, that's obnoxious, but I should still get, like, at least 3 attacks off. At +1, EQ should always kill. No, okay. Well, that is 2 layers of spikes now. In the back, they still have a lot of things that do not want to take an Earthquake, except for Kilowattrel. So if I predict a switch, Acrobatics still doesn't do a ton. I'm gonna go for Acrobatics just in case they swap. Okay, that still hits the range, it's fine. It covers a few other options. Arcanine, most likely Intimidate. If I assume this is Banded E-Speed, I definitely have to switch here. I think this is the safest swap in that I'm going to get for Torkoal to get the Sun boost back up for the rest of the game. Because we probably just go down to Spikes anyways, so we just get to scout if they are going to lock themselves into something. Play rough was their tech. If they are choiced into play rough, I don't want to bring in Great Tusk. It's probably just Ogerpon because the sun didn't go up because entry hazards took it down. 2 layers of spikes is annoying, but it should be fine. I'm pretty sure we just outspeed an Ivy Cudgel here. Yeah, that's a nice safe KO. Kilowatts roll. This is the thing that was preventing me from just clicking the Earthquake wildly with Roaring Moon. And that almost certainly is either a speed tie or just really bad for me in general. I think I just sack the Great Tusk at this point. It has done more than enough. If we predict Volt Switch, we can just be immune to it and maybe live a hit or scare it out. Not like the Rapid Spin is going to be the most important thing here. Okay, they did cover the switch in, so that's good on them. This should just be a bring in Entei and click Sacred Fire, because they don't really have a safe punish. Yeah, I think that is it. We should always live 1 Hurricane. And yeah, Sacred Fire, if I miss a 5% chance to miss, then I don't deserve to win this game anyways. And they got a Hurricane miss, that's unfortunate. And this should always hit the range because it's banded. Yep. The only way I ever lose from this position is if this is Mewtwo is like, let's say, a Nasty Plot setup sweeper, which means that I would want to preserve my extreme speed revenge kill by any means possible. So if that means bring in Roaring Moon to just scout, if it does go for the Nasty Plot, that is awkward, but it's not the end of the game. Spikes is fine at this point. Psy Strike, we're immune. If it's choiced into that, for whatever reason, then that means I just click Knock Off and get the KO. It is! Oh no! I'm sorry to my opponent, but that was a really intense game. I just need to know if it was Specs or Scarf. What? It was Scarf. Okay, so the Golden Go angle was not the safe route. Alright, GG's to my opponent. And yeah, I guess I'm moving on to the finals. See you guys then.